Hello, today we are going to study about squares and square roots. We will understand the meaning of squaring a number and finding the square root of a number. We are going to find squares of numbers too. We will raise a whole number to a whole number power, and we are going to find square roots of a perfect square. Let's start. If a square measures 4 inches on each side, how would you find its area? So, as you can see, we have a big square and we divided it into smaller squares, giving us four smaller squares on this side and four smaller squares on this side. When we are going to find the area of a square, what we are going to do is to multiply the length and the width. Or actually, we multiply this side to this side. This side gives you 4 inches, and this side gives you 4 inches as well. So the area is equal to 4 inches times 4 inches. So you will multiply the 4 times 4, so it's going to be 16, and you will have the unit in square because we are calculating the area. And also, we multiplied inches to inches. So the answer is 16 inches squared. These are examples of perfect square. 1 is also known as a perfect square. 4, 9, 16, and so on. All of them are called perfect square. Why are they called perfect square? As you can see, 1, it has only 1, so let's start with 4. 4 is a perfect square of 2, meaning we had 2 sides multiplied to 2 sides. 9 here, we multiplied from 3 and 3. So 3 by 3 gives you 9. 4 by 4 gives you 16, and so on. It is called perfect square. A number that is a square of a whole number. It can also be represented by these objects in circles, but let's make it shorter. So I have a multiplication table here, and I highlighted the perfect squares. Those are 1 from 1 times 1, 4 from 2 times 2, 9 from 3 times 3, 16 from 4 times 4, 25, 36, 49, 64, and 81, and so on. We have many perfect square numbers. To square a number, it means to multiply it by itself. Like for example, 5 squared. It means 5 times 5. Take number 5 and square it, meaning take number 5 and multiply it to 5, and it will give you 25. Let's say, for example, if you have 7 or 8. Let's say 8. If you have 8 squared, meaning you're going to multiply 8 to itself, 8, meaning 8 times 8, and it will give you 64. Correct. Now let's proceed. So there's a shorter way to write 5 times 5, and this is the picture of it. 5 squared. We say 5 squared, or 5 to the second power, or some other people say 5 raised to the power of 2. Alright, let's proceed. 5 squared. It has two parts. The base, which is the 5, written in big number, big size, and the exponent, which is 2, and that is our squared. And it's usually written in a smaller number on top of the base. If a number is a perfect square, then you can find its exact square root. A perfect square is simply a number that can be written as the square of another number. These are the examples from 1 to 10. These are the perfect square numbers: 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, and 100. So it comes from 1 squared, 1, 2 squared, 4, 3 squared, 9, 4 squared, 16, because 4 times 4 is 16. 5 squared is 25, because 5 times 5 is 25, and so on. Let's continue. Alright, I'll give you 5 seconds to these questions. What is the opposite operation to addition? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Correct. It's subtraction. Next, what is the opposite operation to multiplication? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the answer is division. Correct. The opposite operation to squaring a number is taking the square root. So let's take a look about this one. 6 squared is equal to 36, because 6 times 6 is equal to 36. Now, the opposite operation of that is to get the square root of 36. So meaning, what number can you divide 36? And if you divide it by that number, the answer would be the same number as what you have divided it to. So 36, or square root of 36, is equal to 6, because it means 6 times 6 is 36. The symbol used to indicate a root is the radical symbol. So this is the radical symbol. It looks like a division symbol, but it has a very small tail over there. Every radical expression has 3 parts: radical symbol, index, and radicand. Again, say it. Very good. So, square root of 49. So as you can remember, this is what you call the radical. The division with a tail. This is what you call the index. And this is the radicand, the number inside the radical sign. The index of a square root is always 2. The square root of 49 could be written as like this, with the index of 2, square root of 49. But normally, we just write it like this. If we use square root, we don't usually write 2 here as the index, because it's understood as square root. It means the index is 2. The square root of a number is another number which, when multiplied by itself, gives back the original number. What does it mean? It's like this. So, example, square root of 49 is equal to 7, because 7 times 7 is equal to 7 squared, which is actually 49. 49 is a perfect square. Or if you want to check, you can also divide 49 by 7. If you divide 49 by 7, it will give you an answer which is 7. Also, we have square root of 49 is equal to negative 7, because negative 7 times negative 7 is equal to negative 7 squared. And if you multiply two negative numbers, it will give you a positive answer. So negative 7 times negative 7 is 49. But don't worry about this negative answer. We're not going to use it for now. Maybe in a future use. In a pandemic situation like this, we need to be always careful and be responsible for our safety without forgetting to be responsible for our own education. See you soon.